very creepy, true island horror story. I've never told this story publicly, mostly because I still don't know what was real. But 3 other people were there with me, and none of us talk anymore. This happened in the summer of 2019 on a tiny, unnamed island off the coast of Maine. We weren't supposed to stay overnight, but something didn't want us to leave. It started as a simple weekend adventure. There were 4 of us: me, my best friend Ethan, his girlfriend Maya, and our friend Lucas. Lucas' uncle owned a small fishing boat docked near Portland. The plan was simple: take the boat out, explore one of the small wooded islands nearby, drink, camp, leave by sunrise. Locals had told us not to go near that island. They said it was bad luck, but they wouldn't explain why. And we were young enough to think that made it exciting. The island wasn't on tourist maps, just a rocky patch of land with dense trees and one tiny strip of beach. When we pulled up, the first thing I noticed was the silence. No birds, no insects, just wind. Lucas joked, "Maybe it's haunted." Nobody laughed. We tied the boat to a dead tree, trunk sticking out of the sand. As we walked inland, we found something strange. An old wooden dock, rotting and half sunk, meaning someone used to come here regularly. But why build a dock on an uninhabited island? That's when Maya pointed it out. There was a structure deeper in the trees. A cabin. The cabin looked abandoned for decades. Windows shattered, door hanging crooked, roof partially collapsed, but there were no vines growing over it. No heavy rot. It wasn't ancient. It was forgotten. Inside, it smelled like wet wood and rust. There was a broken table, a metal bed frame, and something carved into the wall. Tall scratch marks. Vertical. Too evenly spaced to be random. Ethan said, probably animals, but they started about 5 feet off the ground and ended near the ceiling. That night, we set up tents outside instead of staying in the cabin. I don't know why, but none of us wanted to sleep inside. Around 1:30 a.m., I woke up. At first, I thought it was the tide, but then I heard it again. A slow, dragging sound, like something heavy being pulled across wood. I unzipped my tent quietly. The moonlight was bright, and I saw it. The cabin door was open, wider than before. I was sure we left it nearly closed. Then I heard Lucas whisper from the next tent, "Do you see that?" Before I could answer, the dragging sound came again. From inside the cabin, Ethan stepped out holding a flashlight. "Probably raccoons," he said. He walked toward the cabin, and the dragging stopped. Immediately, we all stood outside as Ethan shined the light inside. Nothing moved. No animals. No wind. Just that broken table and metal bed frame. But something was different. The metal bed frame was flipped over. It hadn't been like that before. Lucas swore it was upright earlier. Maya started crying. She said she wanted to leave, but the tide had gone out. The boat was sitting awkwardly at an angle in shallow water. We couldn't safely leave until morning, so we went back to our tents. Nobody slept. At around 3 a.m., footsteps, not on sand, on wood, inside the cabin. Slow, measured, one step at a time. We could all hear it. Ethan whispered, "Someone else is on this island." That made more sense than anything else. Some drifter, some squatter, someone messing with us. Then we heard something worse. 3 loud knocks from inside the cabin, like someone hitting the wall. And then silence, complete silence, the kind that makes your ears ring. Lucas suddenly grabbed my arm. "Don't move." I followed his stare. Between the trees, near the cabin window, there was a silhouette. Tall, too tall, Its head nearly reached the top of the broken window frame. But it wasn't inside. It was standing outside the cabin, just watching it, watching us. Then it moved, not walking, gliding, sideways, and disappeared behind the trees. Maya screamed, and that's when everything escalated. We didn't care about the tide anymore. We ran to the beach. But when we got there, the boat was gone. The rope we tied it with was still attached to the dead tree trunk. But the other end? Cleanly cut. Not snapped. Not torn. Cut. Lucas kept saying, "This isn't funny. This isn't funny." None of us were laughing. That's when we heard it. From behind us. On the sand. Footsteps. Slow. Crunching. Coming closer. We turned, and there it was. Standing at the edge of the tree line. Tall. Extremely thin. Long arms hanging too low. Its face. I can't describe it properly, because it didn't look like a face. It looked smooth, like stretched skin. No visible eyes, but I knew it was looking at us. It took one step forward, and Lucas bolted. He ran toward the far side of the island. Ethan chased after him. Maya froze. I grabbed her hand and ran too. Behind us, the footsteps didn't speed up. They stayed slow, confident, like it knew we weren't leaving. Lucas was screaming somewhere in the trees. Then suddenly, a bright white light flashed from deep in the forest, like a camera flash. Then darkness again. Silence. No more screaming. We called his name. No answer. Ethan wanted to go back for him. Maya refused. She said, "It wants us to separate." That sentence still haunts me, because it felt true. The longest hours of my life. We stayed huddled against a rock formation near the shore. No more footsteps. No more movement. Just waiting. When the sun finally rose, the island looked normal again. Birds chirping, wind moving leaves, like nothing had happened. But Lucas was gone. No footprints, no blood, no signs of struggle. And then, in the sand near the water, we saw something that made my stomach drop. The boat, back where we left it, tied perfectly, with a new rope, one none of us brought. We didn't search. We didn't call out again. We got on that boat and left. We told authorities Lucas must have fallen into the water. They searched for days. Nothing. No body. No evidence. The cabin? When officials went back to check, they said there was no cabin on that island. Just trees. No look. No structure. Nothing. But the four of us were inside it. We saw it. We touched it. And sometimes, late at night, I still hear dragging. Slow. Across wood. And I always wonder if Lucas is still there, or if whatever was on that island. Let three of us leave on purpose. If you ever visit a small island, and it feels too quiet, leave before sunset, because some places don't want witnesses.